As we continue on the journey of the mother wound in relation to men experiences, we are going to go into the next segment in Agiso Tongoi's book, Wounded, where she talks about Prophet Samuel. And according to Agiso, he experienced a disoriented attachment, where in 1 Samuel chapter 1 and verse 24, his mother takes him to Eli, who is a servant of the Lord, a high priest, after weaning him. So this is a small boy, baby, who's been born and lived with a mother for a duration of time. And just when he's been introduced, to weaning, which is usually a big transition in the life of a child, then he is taken to Eli. So if I was to imagine being Samuel at that time, everything was good until I was fed, I was weaned, and then I was detached. All right, and so as he's taken to Eli, he is definitely about 2.5 or 3 years old, according to Agiso. And she says that the Bible says the boy was young. And she intentionally mentions that there is no mention of Eli's wife stepping in to offer the boy any emotional or other support that was made known to us. Obviously, the Bible has been edited over the different versions that it took to get to us when it did. And she says that as an adult, we notice that Samuel could not control his 2 sons, whom he made priests without consulting the Lord. So even after being in that God environment, he made faulty decisions that included or were in relation to the work of the Lord. And as he did this, Eli was still there. And Agiso goes on to say that those boys turned out just to be like Eli's sons, who are corrupt and perverted. And she highlights 1 Samuel chapter 8, verse 3. And Agiso notably says that this was very surprising because the Lord used the young Samuel to warn the older man Eli about the conduct of his sons. And this displeased Eli. As a man, when that mother wound happens, and especially a mother wound of unanticipated detachment. So I know of families where a child is born, and maybe because it was not the right time, or the mother is not at the right place, it feels like a little bit of a sacrifice on the part of the mother to do what needs to be done for the welfare of this child, or to serve a need in the family for this child. And that is not the problem. Again, back to the factory settings. What would it take for a man to be told, maybe at the age of 5, son, this is your default setting, and this is the template that you're riding on currently, which would only be able to guide the child as to, so this is not my full story, that there's a part of this story that's unattended to or incomplete, and that I have access to at my choice. So here we are, looking at Prophet Samuel, who's been given to the house of the Lord to serve God, and handed over to a man who also is having his own man issue, hence he's not able to control his own children. And Agiso says that could the inability to solve the problem and overcome the challenge of his wayward children be a symptom of Samuel's disoriented attachment? So as a father who might have experienced a mother wound, are you over-loving your son or completely neglecting him, or relinquishing that leadership to the mother. Let's talk about male children who are born and their mothers were not married, perhaps, and they had to be not counted as part of that mother's family because their dads were not present. And what this would look like, to the little knowledge that I have, I do stand to be corrected, is that because this boy's father is not standing up to maybe marry the mother, so we can't count this boy as one of us because he will be a taker. Okay? He will have to pay dowry. He will have to do 1, 2, 3. He will need land. And so what happens to this boy is, because of his default factory settings of being born untimely, inappropriately, and it crushes my heart to imagine that you are born, you didn't ask, you showed up, and suddenly someone has a script that completely denies you access to the full privileges of life, and you have internal loops that you have to keep processing and conversing with every so often as to why you might be struggling, why you might be limited. And Agiso goes on to say that without tangible evidence from the Bible, we can only speculate that these two men suffered a mother wound when their mothers separated from them at an early age, leading to that disoriented attachment. If you haven't watched the video on the attachment styles, please find it and be able to identify, are you going through a negative loop? I am available for this discovery call that will help you to reset, reboot, all right? And to be able to restore yourself. Also, if you're new here, I'd like you to familiarize yourself to the mother wound healing vocabulary that we use here. Despite this being a mom's program, men have reached out to me and said, you know, we also have moms, and would you please talk about our experiences as well? And if you're in that space of actualizing yourself, wanting to be able to experience your true, authentic version, then I am here to help you navigate that journey. I am here to support you, to listen. And sometimes it's all you need is a listening ear. You need someone to say, I hear you for who you really are. I don't hear you because you're a man. I hear the child in you talk to me and bring out your story, and I value your journey. And as we consider the men that we've talked about, Moses, Eli, Samuel, and you, the purpose of healing this mother wound is so that you now live an elevated life. You now live every day, in every possible instant, climbing your positive ladder of intent. And what I am deeply, deeply concerned about is that the bloodlines that flow from you, the bloodlines that continue from you, have a different default setting because you are man enough to take care of business, that you are strong enough to lay down your weaknesses and ask God to step in and heal you. How can I serve you? Let me know.